So I'm kind of curious. Like with coaches, obviously, it's a very different thing. It's like how does it logistically actually work for you in terms of like calls, like one to ones, group calls in a day or in a week, and kind of managing your own energy and focus and all that.
Uh, so I try to limit the number of calls I'll have in the day. Three is about as much as I want to do, and
Mm-hmm.
part of that is because I like to spend, where you're building the features. I tend to spend time writing. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm also an author, and I'm writing that newsletter every week, and
Right.
it's been the source of most of my revenue for years and years, and referrals. So I like to continue, and it's something I just love to do. So that's I have to spend time marketing and just the administrative side of the business. There's lots of little projects to do, outreach, but the day to day calls, I really like to keep them limited, and I generally leave at least 15 minutes on either side of my call,
Mm-hmm.
as a I need to let go. You mentioned deep work. Like there is residual attention that I'm going to carry into the next call if I jump from one client to the next. I'm not going to have
Right.
time to let it go and prepare. So I like to leave at least 15 minutes, ideally, even more if I can, but it doesn't always work that way. But I put these buffers in, honestly, for the client, because I won't be effective for them and listen to them if I can't let go of the prior call, write off some notes, get that out of my head, get up, stretch, take a break, get water, something.
Yep.
And then I can come back and review their notes for where we left
Mm-hmm.
off last time, and then get back on and give them my full attention. But that is something that's very important to me, is not splitting my attention. Something I've also learned about myself, and part of that,
Yeah.
leaving yourself open. You know, in the past when I was managing, I wanted to be the open door manager. Always
Mm-hmm.
available. Someone would come in, and if I'm working on something, and I feel compelled to say, "Sure, have a seat," but I'm never giving either of those things my full attention. So I started to say no to them, wrap whatever's going, wrap up that, and then switch to them so that I can give them my full attention. And that's what it's always
Yeah.
about. Even as a parent, I do that with my kids sometimes. If
Totally.
they're coming at me with a need, I would very clearly say, I love you. I want to hear everything that you have to say. Let me finish this, and then I can switch and give you my full attention, because it's clearly what you're saying is really important, and I want to hear it.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, right now with summer and the kids are sort of like home, and that's like it's nice to have that structure where it's like, okay, I know this is my work time,
Yeah,
so I better make the focus count, right?
yeah.
Hey, just a quick break to tell you about Clarityflow. It's the software tool loved by coaches and their clients for communicating asynchronously in threaded conversations using video, audio, or text. My team and I designed Clarityflow for the modern day coach. It lets you give clients a single place to engage with you and all that you offer through your coaching business. Run coaching groups, cohorts, and communities using our Spaces feature. Create interactive courses using our Programs feature. Build your coaching library with templates and reusable content. And sell access to your coaching programs with subscriptions or one time payments. Customize colors and connect your domain to give clients a fully branded experience. You can use Clarityflow on the web or our mobile apps for iPhone, iPad, or Android. And connect any other apps using our Zapier integration. Start with a free trial or request a personalized demo and consultation by going to clarityflow.com. I don't want to go too long here. I did want to just sort of touch on, we talked about how you work. Uh, Maybe going back, like we don't need the whole career story here, but were there any like intentional changes or improvements that you've made in your approach to coaching or structuring the way that you offer your coaching, um, whether it's improvements for you professionally or personally, or for results for your clients? Um, yeah, anything like come to mind over the last few years that like before you were doing it this way and now you've made these changes and it's been really a lot better.
Uh, a couple things. I used to do uh, 3 month engagements, and I would do 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And the way that I always said was, we need a week off so that we can get work done. We need to take a break because every week it's a little, almost incessant, just, uh, but I made this, and so I would do 3-month engagements. And at the time, I would also offer the opportunity for them to pay everything up front for a little bit of a discount. Like that was, I felt like that was, would entice them. And I switched to a 6-month engagement every other week and only month to month. The reason why on the coaching side is that I started to find that people didn't have enough time to put in the work between
Mm-hmm.
calls on a week to week engagement. I just don't think, just so much happens. So many things come up, so many demands on our time. You need at least 2 weeks between calls. That's
Yeah,
my,
and I also find that like even though so much happens, also like not enough happens in 1 week,
yeah. Oh, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like I do a podcast with my friend Jordan where we're just talking about our progress, and if we record 2 weeks straight, it's like we don't have a lot of new content to talk about.
Yep. And,
Yeah.
and you're absolutely right. So yes, too much and not enough all at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
they come into the call with not enough having happened on what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the coaching side. And I feel like the rhythm is so much better. I also leave it a little open. If something comes up, I let people reschedule. I'm not a hard, must be every Tuesday at 10 kind of person. Like I like to leave, we'll find a time, we'll make it work. And then on the no more upfront payment, just having the recurring revenue. Coaching is a weird thing, and getting referrals, getting clients in, having to go find ways to get new clients. I mean, it's a little easier for me now that I've been doing it so long, and for a number of reasons, getting referrals and having the newsletter. But man, the ups and downs of that income as a solo business owner, it's hard to manage sometimes.
Yeah.
And you have to be really disciplined in the boom times, and so that
Yeah.
when things are down, it's you have something to coast on. So that spread it out a little bit to say, okay, I've got 6 months to make this work.
And I can see it's also like a predictable expense for the client to sort
Exactly.
of have like a monthly. It's just part of the budget, you know.
Yep, it's predictable. And I'm very clear about how it works, and I don't limit it to 6. I just say that that's the minimum, and then it's an auto pay. So they would say at the end, like, okay, we're done. Or
Yeah.
I've had clients that continued on, and I've been working with some of the same clients for years, just throughout lots of career changes, and just helping them think through whatever next step is facing them.
Yeah. And then how is it actually structured? You mentioned
Oh, sorry.
calls. Did you say like once every two
Yeah,
weeks
every two
is
weeks
is
it's
a
an
call?
hour long session. I say, and this is another very clear change. I say up to 60 minutes is one
Okay.
session, because it used to be that I would feel bad, like if we'd get a lot done, maybe 35 minutes, and I would say, gosh, it feels like this is a good place to start. What do you think? Stop. We can do another half hour later. I felt obligated to give them that,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not paying for the time, they're paying for the result of the session. And so
Mm-hmm.
that clarified that for me. And just so at one session, they could walk away with everything that they needed in 40 minutes. And I leave it up to them, of course, to make the decision. Do you have anything else that seems like a good place to stop? You've got a lot that we've just decided. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, or do you want to? Is this good? And it's all up to them, though.